to get
the
hold of
last time Leno called me, he wasn't so conversational.
that's right. You lit his couch on fire.
Yeah, well, the Tonight Show chair on fire, yeah.
Right.
But when he called me, he didn't go, hey, this is Leno. He just goes, Leno.
Well, that was back in
when
92,
I started,
93?
Yeah,
when was that?
And he should have been mad. I did set
Bob
the
lit the chair on fire and got him into trouble, right?
Yeah. Well, got myself into trouble.
Like you were on
during
the show?
the show.
Yeah.
No, he just ran out. No, he was
just hanging out.
Yeah, we were broadcasting.
He was a guest on the show, and he lit the chair on fire.
How and why?
That's a long story, but it's a
You're
whole
right. No one would be interested in that.
It was like pre-TMZ and all the internet,
Right.
but it was still all over the news and everything the following couple of days.
I had smashed up the Arsenio Hall show the week before and caused way more damage on that program.
Really?
That was like $10,000 worth of damage, but the Tonight Show charges were filed.
Right.
And I had to go to court. By the way, I really thought we'd go, oh, I'm guilty, and get my attorney. She goes, plead not guilty. I'm like, I saw the footage.
Yeah, there's film of you setting the
I'm
chair
pretty
on fire.
sure it's me, Not unless there's a third arsonist in the grassy knoll. I might be going down on this one. So my punishment was I had to do TV commercials, which I didn't even know what they were for. I'm like, hi, I'm Bobcat Goldthwait. If you're ever on a talk show, don't set it on fire. Back to you, McGruff. Here's your old friend, Kelsey Grammer, with some safe driving tips. Hi, I'm Chris Brown for domestic violence. They just write themselves.
Yes.
No, I'm out.
You stood up, put lighter fluid on your chair, and lit it on fire.
It's even more complex than that. I actually had opened the lighter fluid in my pants. Mm-hmm. While I was doing panel, I'm actually squirting it with my ass cheeks.
Right.
And then I said, and Leno should have been mad, but it was...
he wasn't that long into that gig at the time, was he?
No,
I mean, he'd been there 2-3 years.
I think back then I truly was afraid of being, accepted by him, maybe. I don't know.
Well, so what happened? You were doing it was the Tonight Show.
Tonight Show.
And
I
you're
set
not
that fire.
And here's the difference. When he says doing panel, it's funny because a lot of people don't understand it, but in the business, it's a big deal. If you ask Bobcat to come on and do 4 minutes of stand-up, it's like it's good, but it's not great. Mm-hmm. But if you ask him, don't do stand-up, come sit next to Jay and be on the panel, then that's the tip of the cap. That's what your agent wants.
That's when you have to say
you've arrived, right?
I've arrived. So I've always operated on, how dare you hire me? Mm-hmm. How dare you like me? But, I set it on fire.
But what?
And then, what's funny? They invited me on every single talk show after that. People think I got banned, but the reality was, because I was on, there I am. See, there's a little fire.
What did you use to light it?
It looks like I'm peeing on it right there. There's a little, that's where I got the arson charges, because I actually had a barbecue, a fire starter taped to my wrist,
inside,
like a supervillain.
Right.
So that implied that there was
kindling man.
He meditated.
Yeah. Look out, world.
So Arsenio was getting fired, right? They put him on after Chevy Chase. So this is a long ancient history. It killed Arsenio. Paramount got rid of Arsenio. I went on Arsenio the week before he got his show was over, and then I spray painted Paramount Sucks on the backdrop of the Arsenio on his show, and I smashed a few TV monitors, and then I started throwing the couches into the audience, and then Arsenio wrestled me down to the ground because I said, "Hey man, are you really quitting?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "Well, fuck this, let's not make it easy for the next guy." Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because they were talking about Jon Stewart replacing him. So Arsenio's wrestling me into the ground.
Yeah.
Same crowd. And he's wrestling me to the ground, and then he whispers into my ear, he goes, "Hey, man, thanks."
Right. Wow.
So a week later, Jay calls. They have me on the show. And Jay, before I go on, he walks into my dressing room and goes, "Hey, don't smash up too much stuff."
Right.
So, it was implied. In fact, the news was there. So it was implied that I was going to do something crazy. Oh, by the way, my daughter was young, very young, and we were coloring. and the news came on, and it goes, comedian goes berserk. And my daughter was about 6, maybe, and she goes, I go, what? She goes, sometimes you act like you don't have a brain in your head.
Wow.
And I go, it's comedy. And she goes, if it was comedy, it wouldn't be on the news. And her best friend was Eric Idle's daughter, and he goes, Lily's dad's never on the news. So, like, Eric Idle goes berserk on the Arsenio Hall show. So, so Leno had me on, and then I premeditated it. I knew I was going to light it on fire. I was very self-destructive. I got to say that, I mean, I've made fun of Jay, but, of course he'd be mad. But you know what's weird? He did call me off the air, and he's like, so what would you do if I came over to your house and set that on fire? And I was like, well, that would be weird, Jay, because...
we're not filming it.
It's not on on camera, man. That'd be weird, man.
Right.
And he goes, so is Letterman a good guy and I'm an asshole? And I go, look, I don't know either of you personally, but from where I stand, you're both out of your fucking minds.
Right.
And he actually laughed at that.
By the way, it's never a yes when they go, how would you like it if I came over to your house, fill in the blank, you know what I mean?
I love it.
And gave it a nice sweep and a mop. It's never that. It's never that.
Yeah.
It's always something. Some
How'd
weird
you like it if
version
I
of...
broke into your house and cooked a nice dinner?
That's
I would
right.
like that if I dusted.
That's right.
So in his defense, I did set his show on fire, but then I had community service. You know, honestly, you want an exclusive? The actual commercial that I had to do was way more embarrassing. Mm-hmm. And it was really horrible. I had to go...
You have to do the Bobcat voice?
Yeah, I'm really embarrassed. This is the actual PSA. All right, hang on, I'm going to do it.
You remember it.
Relax. I only got one fucking trick. Hang in there. What's that? You want to hear Freebird? So this is really embarrassing. I had to go, hi, I'm Bobcat Goldthwait. You know, I can change back and forth.
Wow.
But if you're seriously injured in a fire, it was horrible.
Wow. Yeah.
And then the fire marshal in Burbank didn't like my performance because apparently I was too sarcastic the first time I filmed it. I'm like, if you're seriously injured in a fire, Right. And so I had to refilm the actual PSA. I like the fact that the Burbank fire marshal wants to direct. He's like, I didn't feel it, Bobcat, Yeah. I wanted a 9 or 10, and you just phoned it in. You gave me a 6. So
obviously, it's a prepared statement, Bobby. But let's have fun with it.
Just make it your own. If you want to ad-lib, go ahead, but it's got to be 30 seconds.
Wow.
So that was the PSA I did. But, and then I will, Jay should be mad. I mean, I did set it on fire. But then it was funny when I was on Regis and Kelly. It wasn't Kelly then. It was, never mind. Let's not talk about
Kathy
that.
Lee.
Yeah, because I was going to vomit on them. That was the plan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What did you do to prepare for that?
Well, I was going to have Epicac in my coat pocket. And then I was going to get them talking about Cody, And then I was just going to take a big pull out of it and then just vomit on Kathy Lee. And Gary Shandling heard that I wanted to vomit on Regis and Kathy Lee. So he's going, can we tell that story on Larry Sanders? And I did. But then I showed up to do their show, and they go, where's the Epicac? I go, come on, man, that was just a bit. And then they patted me down, and it was in my coat pocket.
Wow.
So they had a fire extinguisher. They go, we're going to give you this on the air. Is that okay? I go, yeah, I don't care. So I walk out while they're introducing me.
The fire extinguisher.
Take the pin out of the fire extinguisher, and I just blasted Regis with it. He ran off the show, and then I shot it up her skirt, and she ran up into the audience. And the crowd was going kind of nuts. But then, you know how those carbon dioxide, oxygen, they sucked the oxygen out of the room, and the audience was really old, and they were all screaming. And then they stopped screaming because they couldn't breathe.
Picture.
I'm questioning this booking right now.
I know. He's going to fling his fecal matter out.